Mark, this is going to be a review on your architectural board examination that's coming in the near future. So magtuon kag maayo ha. You have to talk to yourself. This is the way I'm actually telling you that this is Dicky Ching Visual Dictionary, one of the most essential for the review of architecture. So, let's start with our book appearance. This is actually simplified design, and yeah, it's just simple as architecturally done. It's minimalist, right? Minimalist. We have um, one of the features, no, mga features of arches, one of the plans, the elevations, and then of course it is written there the Francis D.K. Ching, which is the author of this visual dictionary for architecture. This is the second edition. Okay, let's proceed to our first page. Our first page, we have the most simplified display of a visual dictionary of architecture second edition. That's it. It's triangle. There's nothing more about it. It's just a fly page. And then another page for visual dictionary of architecture second edition. More display of like mga visuals, and then the author, and then the production, and then that's it. So we have here the copyright edition in the next page, in the back page of the second page that we've had. And then after that, I will no longer to talk more on the yes, these book printed in acid free paper, everything. So let's proceed to contents. Of course, the contents are written here are the terminologies of architecture, and with that, An architects or an architect sometimes create buildings which are not architecture. Why? Because they do not actually indulge the being of an architect. So architecture is produced by ordinary people for ordinary people, therefore it should be easily comprehensible to all. And that is believed by Steen Elier Rasmussen, right? And then Norval White, actually, mo to siya giingon niya. Norval White, ang iya gid ko ano, ang iya idea of an architecture is not the art of an architect. It's not dependent on the maker. It's not that. So, that's new to me, huh? Because actually, ang definition gid niya, no? If you just have to narrow down all the ideas, this has been constructed here in the words. Yeah, the philosophy says that. And then, as what I have understood here, the architects actually sometimes act not truly architect. Why? Because it is a continuous learning mangod of architecture. So it is endless. The meaning of his work actually endless. Everything actually has to be learned. Not all, but at least a lot more of an architecture, and that you are about to build an architecture if you are truly a well versed or well idealized or idealed architect. So the most exciting part of this conversation is actually this simplified definition of architecture. All right. So this is one of the most simplified definition out of all these very long different kinds of versions of architecture's definition or meaning. This is the only thing that you have to remember and to understand really what architecture is. All right. There are one, two, three, four, five words that are very important to understand architecture. First, art. Second, science. Third, designing. Fourth, construction. And fifth is building. Meaning to say, if you just have to construct it in a very formal way of grammar, the art and science of designing and constructing buildings. That's just it. Simple as that. That's architecture. Isn't that amazing? Isn't that simple? Isn't that very, very simple to you? That the art of architecture is actually the product or result of architectural work, building collectivity, and then the style of a method of building characteristics of people, place, or time, and then the profession of designing building and other habitable environment, and then the conscious act of forming things resulting in an unifying or coherent structure. That's just it. So meaning to say, architecture is the art and science of designing and constructing buildings. Isn't that simple? Yes, it is. Okay. Let me explain to you why it is being art, why it's being science, why it's being used of designing the work, and then the constructing, and also have building. Why all of it? Why are all of that? Why? Because architecture stands for A, art. Why? Art is the generalized term for designing or a lot of ideas about art is actually the 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 artistry of different fields, no, And then science is the application of mathematics and science, or science. The application of science here is actually telling you that architecture is being studied. No, it is being studied way very very long. Why? It is being proved in several experimentations, several kind of studies that is to create architecture. It is studied, and then designing to design, and then constructing to construct or to apply, and last term is building. That's it. The result. The result. Result. Yeah, result. All right. So, of course, the product or result of architectural work, buildings, collectivity, and then the style of method of building characteristic of people, place, or time, and then the profession of designing buildings and other habitable environments, and also the conscious of art, the conscious of art, the conscious of act, or the conscious act of forming things, resulting in an unifying or coherent structure. Alright? Yes. Oh my god. I just opened the very detailed Dicky Ching first appearance of architecture. Here it is. Okay. So, we're about to tackle more of the detail of the definition and more of ideas about architecture. And I think we have so much time for now. No? Because it was just our first appearance. It was just our first step to know more about architecture. So, let's have it on our next live. This has been your Dix DJ, John, on the mix. Joke lang. This has been John Mark Pimentel Dayo. Peace out.